here's my recommendation. Let that pain that you feel around this tax deadline because you're missing out on making that IRA payment, let that pain be the teacher. Welcome to the Sunlight Podcast. In this show, we're talking about taxes, money, and careers for self-employed people who have a big vision for changing the world with their work. I'm your host, Hannah Cole, artist, tax pro, and the founder of Sunlight Tax. If you're a creative or soul-centered entrepreneur or wellness practitioner who wants to grow your business sustainably, manage your taxes, and build a stash of fuck you money so you can control your time and have a bigger impact with your work, you are in the right place. Hello, gorgeous. If you are watching the video version of this, you're going to see me in my sweats today because I just got back from weight training, which is something I have been dedicating myself to consistently for 6 months now after years of trying to talk myself into it. And I just want to mention this for a moment because I know that so many of you listening or watching are struggling with the current political environment, right? You have a lot of fear, uncertainty, there's a lot of chaos. It's hard to keep up. It's hard to know what's going on. It's hard to know what to expect. And it's hard to know just what's coming, right? And I'm going to talk a little bit about that at the end of the episode today. And I don't have all the answers. I mean, I don't. But I will tell you that one of my strategies in this, administration that I'm going to be honest with you, I do not like at all. I hate. I campaigned against. I worked really hard. We had some wins in North Carolina at the state level, but we didn't do it all. But one of my strategies has been to have a goal or two that in 4 years, something I'm going to do consistently that has nothing to do, that's fully within my own control, that after 4 years, I am going to be really grateful that the version of me today in 2025 took on, and I will be 4 years into some new thing that I'm really proud of. So for me, what I've decided on is weight training. I'm going to become, my goal is at the end of the Trump administration, I will be so freaking strong. So I'm 6 months in. I did start before the election, but I needed it for the distraction during the campaign season too. And sometimes when I'm having a really, really rough day or, just politics is on my mind too much, I actually on purpose increase my weights so I feel sore. 1, because it makes you stronger. And 2, because it gives me something else to think about. My sore muscles talk to me. And I actually kind of like that. So obviously that's a very Capricorn, goal-driven kind of coping mechanism. But you know what? It is working for me. I can already do way more push-ups than I could 6 months ago. And that's the cool thing about weight training. You can keep going. There's no finish line. You just keep going and getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So I'm all in. I will be very strong 4 years from today. And I highly recommend you pick something. Who knows what it is? Maybe it's reading more books. Maybe it is learning about, some type of history or a new skill, right? Whatever it is, I recommend it. Pick something. Pick something that you can feel proud of 4 years from today. All right. Today on the episode, I want to talk to you about the triple deadline of April 15th. So here is the scenario. So I want to talk to you, April 15th, I think we all know that it's tax day, right? But I think what often is not on people's minds enough and what really gets people in trouble is not realizing that April 15th is not only tax day, it's actually the deadline for 2 other things. April 15th, 2025 is the deadline for 1, last year's tax bill. So whatever bill you have outstanding that you haven't paid yet from last year's taxes is due April 15th. P.S. There are no extensions on tax bills. A lot of people think when they get an extension that it extends the payment deadline, and it doesn't. It only extends your filing time. So just please keep in mind, April 15th truly is the deadline. And even if you get an extension, which is fine and perfectly legal. There's nothing wrong with the tax extension. Even if you get one, you still have to pay your taxes April 15th. When you file that extension request, which is automatically granted so long as you're on time, you have to actually make a payment for what you think you owe for 2024. So there you go. April 15th, tax deadline for 2024. In addition, it's also the deadline for your first estimated quarterly tax payment of 2025, right? And on top of that, we're not even done yet. On top of that, April 15th is also the deadline for your IRA contribution. And I want everyone listening to this podcast, it is my goal, if I do nothing else with my work in this world, it is to get creative people like yourself, people who are doing caring work, visionary work, work that helps heal the world and create empathy in the world. I want you to be putting more money aside for yourself. That is a goal of mine. That is a victory. Every time somebody sends me a DM and is like, I maxed out my IRA. I'd never made a contribution before. I finally realized from you that it's so important. To me, that's what I live for. So I want you to take as good care of yourself and your financial health as you take of other people, right? That's why I'm talking to you, to creative people, because you tend to be so kind and so generous. It's what I love about you. But you're not often as generous towards yourself as you are to others. So maxing out your IRA, I want to make it your new religion. All right, so here's how we do that. You have to keep in mind that April 15th is a triple deadline. That's your first thing, all right? Here's the bad scenario that I see over and over again happening to people. You haven't been paying quarterly taxes throughout the year. You didn't realize that that's a thing, that you're obligated to pay your taxes throughout the year and not wait till April 15th to pay your taxes, right? A lot of people don't know that. P.S. That's what the last 2 episodes of this podcast are about. So if you want help getting started on that, just go back in your podcast feed and listen to the last 2 episodes. I recommend doing it in order. So go 2 weeks back and then 1 week back to get the tips on how to get started with your estimated quarterly taxes. But you need that. Paying your estimated quarterly taxes is how you end up with a 0 tax bill or something close to 0. It's okay that you have to make some change on tax day. That's actually the whole purpose of filing a tax return. It's to reconcile the estimated payments that you made, whether those estimated payments are through estimated quarterly tax payments or whether they're also through W-2 payroll withholding. And they can be through a combination of those things. That's normal. That's fine. There's no problem with that. It all goes together on one tax return. And so long as you're filling up your taxes owed bucket throughout the year, it doesn't matter if you're filling it through the hose called payroll withholding or through the hose of quarterly taxes. You can do both. You can do one, you can do the other. It's all fine. And regardless of which method you use, you're going to settle up on April 15th, right? That is when the final bill is due if you underpaid for the year, right? It's also, tax time is also when you find out if you overpaid and you get a refund. The refund will come before April 15th, especially if you file early. But of course, with this episode coming out in late March, that's probably not the boat you're in if you're listening to this. So the bad scenario that I see is that people aren't on top of their estimated quarterly taxes, and so they're accumulating a big tax bill. So just paying off the bill is going to be a really big deal, right? They've waited, they've not paid quarterly taxes through the year, so there's going to be a full annual tax bill to pay by April 15th. And that's really stressful because that doesn't get extended. There's penalties and interest coming if you don't pay by April 15th. And it's just a stressful situation to be in. When you're in that situation, it can also be very difficult to then make the first quarterly tax payment to get on track again with this year, right? Even if you get the information, it can actually just be difficult to do because you don't have cash in your bank account. But even if you do, right, you do scrape together all the money you can to pay off last year's taxes, and you also try to get forward looking and pay that first estimated quarterly tax payment for 2025 so that you don't get behind the 8 ball again. The other thing that is possible in that scenario is you run out of cash and you have no money left over. You simply, despite any intention you had to fund your IRA, you simply don't have any cash left in your bank account. And so you screw yourself. The one person who doesn't get paid in this scenario is you, future you, right? And for your financial health and security, I want you every single year to max out an IRA to the degree that you absolutely can, because that is how you gain a foothold, an economic security foothold, which I don't need to tell you is more important now than ever. All right. So if you are in this situation, first of all, I want to give you a little grace. I want you to give yourself some grace. Forgive yourself. This is a common mistake, a common problem. You're not broken, and it is something you can fix. Here's my recommendation. Let that pain that you feel around this tax deadline because you're missing out on making that IRA payment, let that pain be the teacher, all right? Don't let that pain go to waste and just get stuck in this cycle again next year. Please, please listen to my last 2 episodes. Get yourself started paying some quarterly taxes this year so that you don't have this big bill coming. And also know that April 15th is going to be your deadline to fund your IRA, and I want you to make your best attempt at fully funding it. $7,000 is the maximum that you can currently put into an IRA. That's both the 24 and the 25 limit to put into either a Roth or traditional IRA. So I want that also to be part of your goal. All right. It can be very painful to get on track. If you're not on track now is probably the most painful time for you as we approach the April 15th deadline. If I can tell you one thing, it is 1, to not judge yourself, but 2, not to let that pain go to waste. Please, please, please let the pain teach you that you need to get on top of this, because you need economic security now more than ever. You don't want to be in this precarious situation of having these tax bills that are so big, bigger than you expected, then quarterly taxes, and never having the cash in your account to pay your IRA. All right? Okay. I also want to address another thing that I have noticed. So I had a launch of my program recently, and I had a lot of conversations with people, and what I definitely observed through talking to a lot of you is that you are feeling a tremendous amount of fear and anxiety about your money right now. A lot of us, and you know what, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I am here to say, it's a scary climate right now. There's a lot of just completely bananas, hard to understand policies going around, like tariffs, trade wars, abandoning allies, the dollar losing its value, the stock market going down. These are valid concerns. Absolutely. So now more than ever, it's important to get the skills that you need to have long-term economic stability. I just can't emphasize enough that getting out of this tax pain cycle, getting out of this cash poor cycle that not paying your taxes throughout the year puts you into, and not being able to pay your IRA, it's a really big problem for you, for your future, for your ability to invest and grow financial security. So I just want you to know that this is the whole purpose of the work that I do and the program that I run, Money Bootcamp, which I feel so proud of. Its entire purpose is to get you out of this cycle into paying quarterly with a lot of handholding, because I know how hard that is from personal experience as well as client experience. I know how hard that is to do. And the program is designed to get you there, as well as to get you to funding your IRA and knowing how to invest the money that's inside the IRA. Plus, there are other options besides IRAs as well that are where you can put even more money that gives you a big tax advantage, gives you a big bonus that you can put even more money into because of the tax savings when you use those vehicles. So I want to say that this pain may be really real. You may be really feeling it. You may be really feeling the economic anxiety right now. And by all means, please make use of my my podcast, my free resources on my website, but I also want you to know that if you are there for the deeper work, if you're feeling like it is time to take this seriously, time to take your financial security seriously, I really want you to know that that's what my program, Money Bootcamp, is for. That's what I built it for. That's what it does. And there's a huge track record of success. I have so many creative people in it who have begun the regular habit of stashing money in their IRA every single year, having it invested, having automatic savings, and also getting on top of their taxes so that it's not a surprise. And so there's not a big tax bill every year. So I encourage you to come to my free class, which is happening on April 2nd. That's a Wednesday at noon. So that's next week, Wednesday. Come to my free class. I'm going to talk to you. It's a really valuable class if you never joined the program, but I also talk about my program in it. So it's a place where you can learn about what that deeper work is, what those systems are that you need to set up. If you want to DIY it, go for it. I absolutely encourage you. Come to the class and do it on your own. That's totally fine. Absolutely do it. Just know that the help also exists if you want to do it in a more streamlined way with my help. That's also the purpose of the program that I'll be talking about. So it's an opportunity to just learn what it is, because now more than ever, you need that financial security. It's really, really critical. All right. In an economic environment that is uncertain, you want to have these skills. It's so important. All right, so if you want to sign up for that class, it's going to teach you the systems that you need to get on top of this stuff, including the math of how that retirement savings works, why it can actually get you so much more money than you expected or thought. I'll teach you about how that compound interest works. It's a really valuable class. You can come to the class, learn the systems, DIY it, or come to the class, learn the systems, join my program, and get it done more quickly. It's up to you. But the class, if you want to register, it's free. You can register or save your seat at go.sunlighttax.com/free. That's go.sunlighttax.com/free. And I know you're really feeling that economic fear, pain, and anxiety right now. I fully get that. Whether you decide you're able to join a paid program or you're not, and you want to just see what those systems are that you need from me and go out and work on it on your own, it's up to you. And I'm happy if you do it either way. But I encourage you to start getting educated about those systems because you need it. You need to be strong right now. Your community, your family, the people you care about, the people around you who are vulnerable, they need your help and they need you to be strong. So again, if you want to come to the class, it's go.sunlighttax.com/free. And this is a class to teach you how to make your tax systems easier, get out of that tax pain cycle, and start investing in yourself and your financial future with tax advantaged accounts. All right. I can't wait to see you in class. And I hope that this podcast has been helpful for you. If you want to just get started listening to last week's episode and the episode before that on getting started with your quarterly taxes, I hope these podcast episodes help you do that as well. All right. For those of you coming to class next week, I can't wait. I'm so excited to see you there. And for all of you, please, 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 if you do nothing else this year, don't waste the pain. Don't waste the pain. Make sure it helps you get better and get stronger because we all need to be strong right now. All right. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you for listening. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe, leave a review. It really helps, and share it with a friend. I'm so grateful. This podcast is for education and entertainment only. Nothing in this episode should be taken as individual tax or financial advice. You can find all the tools, books, and links we reference at sunlighttax.com/podcast.